today we're going to have an incredible episode. We're on episode number 15, and we're going to talk about 3 signs that you have a scarcity mindset. And this is what's keeping you poor. So that's why we want to break through the scarcity mindset, move to abundance, shift our thinking, reframe our thoughts and our beliefs so that we can attract easier money our way. And if it's your first time here, I'm Dr. Amanda, the Money Healer, and you know that that's what I bring you each and every week. I bring you money mindset, manifestation, and business scaling tips to help you take it to the next level in your business. And this is a big one because I bet those of you who think I have an abundance mindset will learn something today that helps you know that sometimes you don't. And the one here is going to be about time. So stay tuned and hear all of the 3 signs to you tapping in or tuning into your unconscious scarcity mindset, and some tricks and tips to help you shift into abundance thinking. Because I always want you to remember that what you focus on expands, and whatever vibrational frequency you are vibing at is what you're going to attract your way. And we want to do that with ease and joy and flow and fun. When you're in a scarcity mindset, the number one issue you have is that you think there's not enough. And we could just write a blank after this. We could go, there's not enough time, there's not enough money, there's not enough opportunity. This could show up you thinking there's not enough clients. There's too much competition, which means I'm not enough to beat out the competition. I'm not enough to attract people my way because I'm worried other people are attracting them and they're not going to be attracted to me. And so at the core of all of these things is you believing I am not enough. Anytime we have a scarcity money block, that's what's unconsciously going on, is that at the root and the core of our being, we're thinking I'm not enough. Somehow I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not capable enough, I'm not a good enough entrepreneur, I'm not good enough at coaching or whatever the service is that I bring to the world. And so I really want you to dig into yourself today and question and reflect on, where do we have these blocks that we're not enough? Because until you let go of that unconscious block, you're going to keep creating scarcity in your business. And I don't care what level of business you're at. It could be that you haven't broken through making $3,000 a month or even any money yet, or you're at the $10,000 mark a month and you still can have these blocks. These hit people at every level. There's no time in our business where all of a sudden we just go magically, awesome, I have 0 blocks and everything is perfect at all points in time. You will definitely have moments of this. And especially when you get to your zone of manifestation in zone number 4, you're going to be humming and flowing for quite a while. And then something will happen to wake you up a little bit, to open up to new unconscious layers of yourself so that you can grow. Without challenge, there is no growth. And so, our manifestation and what we're playing with on the Woman Entrepreneur podcast is always to get you to zone number 4. That's, if you go back to episode number 3, you can listen to the 4 stages and the 4 zones that you're going to go through as a woman entrepreneur. And you're going to keep going through these over and over again across the life course of your business at every new level. At every time you release a new program, you might run into scarcity thinking because it's embedded in us in big ways. In some ways, it's this proving. And especially for women entrepreneurs, there's a lot of proving that goes on. Like, we don't know if we're good enough. And so we've got to prove to ourselves that we are, which causes us to overwork, causes us to over deliver and undercharge. It causes us to overgive. It causes us to stretch ourselves too thin with our families and our business, or our partners and our business. I hear this a lot from women entrepreneurs, and all of this is scarcity thinking. So let's dive into the top 3 signs that you can start to see in yourself to detect when you're having scarcity thinking. And I'll give you some really simple, actionable strategies to shift out of scarcity thinking. So sign number 1 is that, and actually give me a second here. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm just going to change things up a little bit so you can see things really clearly. Okay. So sign number 1, you say, I can't afford it. Okay. And what this can be related to business, or it could be related to personal stuff, but it's still a sign that you have scarcity thinking. So here's an example. Let's say you're going about your day and you're excited about something you want to purchase, and you hear yourself say, oh, but I can't afford it. Or there's a program that you want to purchase to scale your business, and you hear yourself say, I can't afford it. or, oh, I wish I had money for that is another way of saying I can't afford it. And anytime you're saying this to yourself, you're declaring to the universe that that's true. And remember, the universe doesn't discriminate. The law of attraction works based on what you believe to be true, whether it's conscious or unconscious. So if you have the conscious declaration out loud to the universe, I can't afford it, you're telling the universe you can't afford it, and it'll go, okay, you can't afford it. So it won't give you the funds to afford it, because it's not what you believe. It's not that you believe, you see what you believe. It's that you believe what you see. Did I say this right? Let me make sure I'm correct, and I don't want to mess you up. It's usually we say, I'll believe it when I see it. And it's actually, I'll see it when I believe it. There we go. So you see out in the universe what you believe to be true. So if you believe that you can't afford it, what you're going to see in your surrounding universe is that you can't afford it. You're going to see limit. You're going to see lack. You're going to see not enough money coming in to be able to fund the thing that you say you want to be able to afford. Right? And so it's so important here to stop that declaration. You don't want to be saying to yourself and to the universe, I can't afford it, because it will cause that to be true. So what you want to do is play with, every time you hear yourself saying that, I want you to do a really immediate mindset switch. Okay. So reframe tools are really powerful. I teach these in my NFA money formula and all the programs and things that I put out in the world. You've got to start reframing, because when you reframe, you start to retrain your brain in a new direction. So a really useful reframe here is to say, how can I afford it? Okay. Instead, when you notice yourself saying, I can't afford it, go, wait, how could I afford it? What's possible here? And then I want you to write down 15 ways you can afford it. Okay. Just get out a journal right away. It could be on your phone, in your notes, and just start to write down solution orientation thinking about how you could afford it. That way it's going to loosen your grip on the fear and scarcity around not being able to afford it. And you're going to start to come up with ways that you could possibly afford it. And what happens here is you start to become resourceful, and you start to signal to the universe that you could possibly afford it. And it starts to shift your belief system and loosen up your scarcity thoughts. Okay. So this is really powerful. The thing here is that you've got to shift from scarcity to abundance, and you want to be doing this immediately when you notice it. And the important thing here is you got to recognize. So if you're just unconsciously going about your day and you're constantly in this kind of victim mindset mode where you think there's never enough and you keep telling yourself you can't afford it, you're going to keep getting that result over and over again. And I don't want you to stay stuck there. You don't need to stay stuck there. So start shifting from I can't afford it to how could I afford it? Write down 15 ways and just start seeing what happens when you loosen up that thinking and start thinking more abundantly. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, so this is the second sign that you have a scarcity mindset. It is that, oh, you know what? I put that as sign number two. Let's fix that real quick. This is fun when I do live stuff. Sometimes I notice typos. There we go. Okay, so sign number two, you don't charge enough. Okay, this is 100% related to zone number two. Go listen to episode number 3 of the Women Entrepreneur podcast if you haven't yet. It walks you through the zones, and this is stage 2 or zone 2, where you over deliver and you undercharge. So you're not charging enough. If you feel like you're not making enough money and yet you're really busy and working all the time, you're definitely not charging enough. Okay. One of the ways to start charging more is to shift your mindset first. And remember that when you're not charging enough, it's because you're stuck in scarcity thinking. You're thinking, I'm not enough, which means my product and services aren't enough, or there's not enough people to pay for my products and services. So you undercharge, thinking that if I don't charge too much and I work with everybody, then I'll make more money. And it's actually the opposite. You got to niche down, get narrowed on your focus, get really good at working with a certain base of people, your 5-star ideal clients, and get them amazing results. And then you can keep up leveling your rates. And in reality, when you have abundance thinking instead of scarcity thinking, you're going to know there's always enough clients. You don't need very many people in your following. In building your brand, you need a handful of awesome 5-star avatar, ideal rock star clients. I say this all the time in that combination. It's like, it's these 5-star people you love to work with. You get amazing results. They're rock stars because, they're coachable and they're implementing what you're teaching, and they're out there sharing what you have with the world because they're getting such good results That's your ideal client. And when you work with those people, you start to get amazing results. You self-reflect and go, oh, I am good at what I do. And then they start attracting people your way. You attract more people your way. And of course, when this happens, you're going to start to have less and less time on your schedule to work with people. So you only have two options. You either charge more for what you're doing, or you start to do group style coaching or group or online courses or things like that, where you can impact, instead of one-to-one, you're impacting one to few or one to many. And that's usually the trajectory for coaches that works the best. And you want to start charging more because it starts to also signal to people that you are valuable. And people like to pay for things that they value and that they see as valuable. It's a perception, right? If you're charging too little, you're attracting people who are questioning your worth. And the reason they're doing that is because you're questioning your worth. Whenever you don't charge enough, it's because you're questioning your worth. And so this is a real imposter syndrome money block. And this is really where 80% of people stay stuck. And some entrepreneurs never get unstuck from this place. If they don't do mindset work and do stuff, with coaches like me, where you're breaking through your money blocks and you're helping yourself with your money mindset, you can stay stuck in this zone forever. And it's frustrating because you're giving your heart, your time, your soul, your energy, your money, and you're not making enough to have it feel good. And so you burn out and you question, should I even be doing this? And so when you're not charging enough, it means that you have unconscious beliefs about scarcity, about you not being enough. And so the number one thing here, the quickest fix, is that you've got to start doing intensive confidence training. Okay. When I started my business, this is where I started. I started with confidence training. And I would say a lot of that is mindset training, because you're shifting your beliefs about yourself. Instead of listening to your imposter syndrome, inner critic beat up, you're shifting toward, I am good enough. I am an expert at what I do. I am on my way to being an expert. Maybe you don't feel like you're an expert yet and you're newer in the industry, or you're just starting to get people results. That's okay. You can tell yourself, I'm on my way. And believe that fully, and know that you can just up level your prices by 10%. So what you're going to do is confidence training. Keep listening to the Women Entrepreneur podcast. Go back and binge listen. Oh, I have over 200 episodes on this podcast. I know the Women Entrepreneur podcast has been a rebrand, so it's newer. We're only on episode 15, but there's over 200 in this podcast before the rebrand. Okay. And it's awesome, timeless confidence training that's going to help you up level your money mindset. This is something you must do every single day, especially if you're stuck in scarcity thinking. Because remember, reprogramming your money mindset is brain training, just like you would go to the gym. You don't go to the gym once a year and then think you're going to have an awesome body and feel really healthy. You go daily, you go consistently. You are practicing and you are creating a habit. You've got to do the exact same thing with your mindset. And so you want to be doing confidence training if you're not charging enough. Okay. And simultaneously, I want you to, this is an actionable step. I want you to start up leveling your prices just by 10%. And do it for 5 of your next offerings. Okay. So when you offer things in the next 5 times, up level it by just 10%. And then you do it for 5, and then do it for 5 more, up level it by 10 more percent. And you'll start to feel like, oh, people will pay more. And that starts to give you this feedback, and it starts to shift your thinking from within. I've done this so many times, and it's so fun to, after you do it and someone pays it and they don't even think twice about it, and you go, oh, this whole time I could have been charging more. I was listening to a really awesome podcast, and this guy was a keynote speaker, and he gave his price to one of the contracts, and the guy said, you need to double your prices immediately. And so the next one that he did, he doubled it, and they didn't even say anything. And he was like, oh my God, I had this revelation that the whole time I could have been charging double. That doubles your ROI. He's doing the exact same work, traveling the exact same amount of time, doing the exact same hour keynote, and doubling his rates. I've done this in my business as well. When I was coaching one-on-one, that was my sole business at the time. I doubled my rates from one consult one day to the next day. I doubled it to experiment and see how it felt. If the person paid, they didn't even flinch. It was like, oh, okay, was that what it cost to work with you and get the results? And they paid it. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And then I just kept going with that price. And then I just, I increased my prices over time. And it depends on the product or program or service. But I want you to start practicing charging more and simultaneously doing confidence building. Okay. Number 3. So this is the third sign that you have a scarcity mindset. And this is the one that there's some of you who might not get stuck in number 1, saying I can't afford it, or number 2, not charging enough. But I don't know if I've yet met an entrepreneur out there who doesn't struggle at times with number 3. And sign number 3 is that you feel rushed and you don't make time to relax. And you might be thinking, what, Dr. Amanda, is this really a scarcity thing? Absolutely. Most people blame time, saying I never have enough time, and they think it's time's fault. Do you ever feel this way? I really want you to be honest with yourself here. I've heard so many people say this, me included. This has been a big one for me that I keep playing with. Feeling rushed is a scarcity mindset block, because what you're saying to yourself is there's never enough time. I am not in control of my time. Something outside of me is in control of it. And I'm going to just constantly be pushing, rushing. And really it's fear-based, because you're thinking I can't produce enough in the amount of time I have to get the results that I want. So it's this constant out of the present moment block. Okay. The place where we have the most power is in the present moment. If you are resentful of the past, clinging to the past, fearful of the past, irritated by the past, you're not in the present moment, and you're causing, it's scarcity thinking, because you're beating yourself up for something from the past. Equally, if you are looking to the future and thinking, oh my God, I don't have enough time to get to this point that I've decided I want to get to. That's usually in a goals-based way, where you're like, I said I would make this amount of money by this time, and other people are going to judge me negatively, and I feel like crap about myself, and your inner critic is just yelling at you. That's scarcity, because you're forgetting that the most power you have is in the current moment, and that you're the creator of time, and that you have complete control of time when you choose it. If you are a slave to time, you'll always be a slave to time until you decide to shift and start thinking more abundantly and acting more abundantly, which acting abundantly here would look like you take time to relax and you slow down. When you slow down your inner world, the outer world can speed up. When you're, quote unquote, trying to be rushed in your inner world, the outer world slows down. This is a powerful insight. I want everyone here to consider this. Are you rushing, thinking that if you do it faster, if you add more, if you do more, if you just keep going hard, then you can get to your goal faster and then you'll relax? That's what I always hear people say. And it doesn't work that way, because wherever you go, there you are. So a lot of people will think, once I make this amount of money and my business gets to this stage, I'll take more time to relax. And that is you setting yourself up for permanent, long-lasting scarcity thinking, being stuck on the treadmill of BS. Because once you get to that point that you get to, sure, you can get there. I'm not saying you won't get there. You can get there, but you're going to feel burnt out. You're going to feel stressed. You're going to have built a habit of rushing and having your plate be full all the time. And you're going to think, I'm a victim to my time. And you're going to just keep recreating that. So this one is really important. And here's the quick fix here. Every time you hear yourself say, I don't have enough time, I want you to do a mindset reframe to, I choose to be in control of my time. I choose to be in control of my time. And just keep doing that. You might have to do this thousands of times, because people are very stuck in this one, in scarcity mindset. So to switch to abundance, every time you notice yourself feeling rushed, I want you to go, wait. I choose to be in control of my time. I choose to master my time. And then take 3 deep breaths, get present in the moment, and then ask yourself, what's the next task? Just one next task. Take action on that. Don't be thinking 25 tasks ahead. Don't be thinking 3 months ahead when you've set this goal. Don't be thinking about you want to be present. Okay, presence. And then the other thing that is critically important here is that you block out time on your calendar to relax. And I want you to treat it like a date with yourself, and you don't break it. Like if someone says, hey, can you do something at this time? Like, nope, I've got an appointment already. You have an appointment with yourself to slow down, get present. This could look like meditating in that time. It could be just sitting and staring at the wall and relaxing. You got to start training yourself out of this hurried state because it will not just do it itself. I think a lot of people think that somehow magically everything's going to change for them when they get to a certain point of success in their business. And the truth is that your business is a reflection of you. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. And so your business is a reflection of you. If you're hurried every day in your business, you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling stressed, you're not charging enough, you're feeling like there's never enough, you're telling yourself you can't afford it, that state is never going to change until you change. You're the magic pill. You're the center of your reality. That's if that's what you get today and that's all you get out of this episode and that's your key takeaway, remember, you are the creator of your reality. You are the one who's going to create abundance or scarcity. You're the one who's going to keep attracting easy opportunities or really hard opportunities that make you feel burnt out and crappy and like you're never enough and it's never enough and life is never going to be enough. It all starts from within. It all starts with you. It all starts with these tips that I teach you every single week to help you up-level your money mindset so you can attract easier money your way and feel really good about it. This doesn't just magically happen to people. The people you see who live inspired lives and who build inspired businesses, who are working 3 days a week and feeling good about it, they didn't just automatically get that dropped into their lap. They created it from within. They decided, hey, I want a business that gives me freedom of time, freedom of choice. And so I'm going to choose to be a master of myself by practicing every single day. Like I said, it's just like going to the gym. You've got to go repeatedly. You've got to go daily. Choose to master yourself. Okay, here's an action step for you. Check out my money mindset course. It's called Reprogram Your Money Mindset. So if you go to www.reprogramyourmoneymindsetnow.com, reprogramyourmoneymindsetnow.com, it's going to help you with all of these things we've talked about today and everything that I talk about on this podcast in 12 simple, easy to follow strategies that I've used on myself and with every single person I've worked with. These are the strategies that are going to help you up-level your money mindset, completely transform yourself permanently from the inside so that the outer world starts to match. You'll be able to manifest clients more easily, manifest money more easily, feel good in your life and business. And that's my goal for you. That's my goal for myself. I do these things too. I need to remind myself too. I have blocks to relax on my calendar too. I'm not just saying this to you like, hey, you go do this. And, I completely contradict myself. I do all the things with myself that I talk to you about here because they work. And because what is the point of building a business that feels like a prison? And what is the point of building a business where you feel scared and shitty? I don't want that for you. I don't want that for myself. And so let's together up-level our vibe, reprogram our money mindset, be awesome women in the world who have businesses that create huge impact and huge income. Let's do it as a tribe and a community together. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. I'm so glad you were here. Again, go check out reprogramyourmoneymindsetnow.com. And until next time, I'm sending you big, big hugs and NFA money mama high five.